It's an epidemic. We can fight it. Cut.
I lost my son, it'll be 5 years in August, to suicide. Decker lost a friend, not to suicide. He was skateboarding over on Indian Road, and it was 11 o'clock on a Friday night, and he was hit and killed. And then we lost Decker 3 months to the day afterwards.
I've lost my best friend to suicide over 4 years ago, and it's been very traumatic. It's been hard to deal with. There was no changes at all. You know, he was leaving my house, and we said we'd see each other tomorrow, like we normally would, and hang out and everything, but later on that night, I obviously found out.
I have had a couple friends, as well as other people that I've known, commit suicide throughout all the years. The one that hit the hardest would have to be Jay Turner. He was the partier, the popular kid that everyone loved to like. He was friends with everybody, the life of the party, constantly getting something moving, telling a joke, making everyone smile, and there for everybody. He was always there for anyone. It's the one that got me into the party scene, really. He got me just being happier. He used to constantly having a smile on his face, and just it came out of nowhere.
My ex-husband actually committed suicide, so I've seen the effects of how that happens with your children. His girlfriend just came to the door, and she said, she wouldn't tell me at first, and then she said, well, he died by suicide. And I said, okay. I said, don't tell the kids how he died. So I let her in the house and sat Presley down, and my other son Alec would not. He came out for 5 minutes and heard that his father had died, and then he went in his room and just stayed alone.
I just didn't want to be here anymore because I lost a part of my heart. I wanted to be with him. And there were even days when I felt I needed to be with him because I had to take care of him.
I once had an attempt on my life. I tried to cut my arm, like, up with a piece of metal that I just found on the floor. And it was just purely in anger. And like all I could think was just, I don't want to be here anymore. I find it's really hard to get attached to people now. Scared that it's like abandonment, you know? The fear of somebody just coming into your life and then just leaving all of a sudden.
I'm still to this day, I'm angry for what he did to them because it's affected their lives immensely. I don't think would have been on the path or the path they are on now if it hadn't been for him doing that. My oldest, his first go-to was Oxy. So he went down quite a path, but he did not deal well with his dad's death because he didn't focus on it. And Presley, she did pretty much everything, alcohol, some drugs, but not addictive to drugs, just mostly weed. She has a serious cutting issue. I found lots of notes where she was saying she wanted to die. And my other son, he used exercise. He used weed to cope. He stayed to himself in his room quite a bit to cope. I don't know if he hasn't talked about if he had a suicidal thought or attempt. I didn't see any scars, but I knew he was depressed. He did not want to admit it. Got him to the doctor for medication, wouldn't take it. Probably getting drunk, but also he's in college. So it's kind of like if it is or if it isn't. It might be both.
My physical and mental health took a massive hit with each suicide I've experienced. I tend to stop eating for a little bit because I'm just not hungry. I'm just sitting there and incredibly depressed, thinking about what I could have done, what could have happened differently. I threw myself into partying for a little bit, just trying to have some fun, to feel something. I have scars on my arms and legs from cutting. I went way too heavy into marijuana and started smoking far too much every day. I became a lot more closed off to my friends once I found out about, with each suicide, honestly, because with each one it seems like a piece of me is gone.
After I lost my son, I started my own foundation, and it was a suicide prevention resource center, a drop-in center here in our community. Ages ranged from 8 all the way up to 71. The weekends were the most time when there wasn't any other agencies open. So by having our center open on the weekends, we were there, we were a listening ear, and we could help them find the correct path to get the help that they needed. So my foundation closed last year. And so Devin's dad, John, created this skateboard. And it's beautiful, and it is erected here at the skateboard park, and it's called Skaters in the Sky, and it has Devin's and Decker's name on it. When he showed it to me, I just started bawling. I thought it was just, I just felt so honored that he put Decker on it with Devin.
I went to the hospital once and I literally talked to somebody for like 30 minutes. Afterwards, nobody kept up in touch with me and everything, and I felt like it wasn't enough resources to help me get through it. But I got through it on my own way.
So I just found out when the federal budget came out, I don't know if it was federal or provincial, but I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but there was $5 million strictly for suicide prevention.